what teams are you most excited to watch? Like, who are going to be here for sure?
I'm still going to watch the Mavericks. Watch Boston. I'm going to watch New York. I'm going to watch Philly. You know, going to watch. I always like watching Golden State. I just like to see the guy play. You know what I mean? Like if Steph's out
He's
there.
the only guy in the top 10 we're not even talk about him as far as playoffs.
Yeah, because their team stinks. But like at the end of the day, like Steph's out there, like I'm still gonna watch, man. They might be better than people think, though. Let me take that. Let me retract. What was it? Redact. That statement, because you know you got Dre out there, you got Steph. A big wild card is Kuminga. Because by the way, Buddy Hield's looked fantastic.
Right.
He looks right at home.
He's like, wait, I just have to shoot threes?
He's been waiting for this moment for like 10 years.
For sure.
To get on a team where he can launch, and they're going to give it to him. I think they'll be better than what people. Looney, I mean,
Buddy Hield's probably said privately.
Gary Payton still.
All those years, Buddy Hield was on, the Pacers or whoever. I bet you he privately said, I could do Klay Thompson's role, and now he gets to go take Klay Thompson.
Go try it.
I
try it out, buddy.
you, he's probably thought secretly, I could do these things. I know I could. You're just telling me to run up and down, catch and shoot threes.
They grabbed a piece of those keys, they threw it in his hands, and take it for a spin. You've been waiting to drive it. Let's go see what you can do with it. He looks pretty good so far. He's out there launching. I mean, he could shoot.
Yeah.
You got Steph, Buddy, Kuminga, Dre, Looney, Gary Payton coming off the bench. You got the lefty that they got, Podzinski.
Yeah.
They got Moody. They're not as bad as people think.
They have players.
They got players.
Anthony Melton's
an underrated sign. Like
Kyle Anderson,
slow-mo. Like the Warriors will be a lot better because
they have a lot of players. I just don't know what to make of it.
Steve is their coach. I think the Warriors are a sleeper. I have them in the play-in right now, but yeah, I still have them as my league pass. They're my last league pass team.
All right, I want your final predictions. Give me the conference finals for the West and the East. We'll start with the West.
Conference finals will be OKC and Minnesota.
Youth will be served. It's going to be the two young teams.
I think it's that time.
Yeah.
We saw it last year. It changed last year. And I think Dallas was able to sneak in. I shouldn't say sneak, but they were able to win just due to, those guys are really getting busy. But these two young teams, man, obviously they got a lot on their plate. Minnesota's got to be great again. And like Julius got a lot of pressure on him, man. Like this team went to the conference finals last year. So like, him and DiVincenzo got to come in and perform. They got to be good again. But I think they're going to be really good. Because you lost Carl, but you got Julius and DiVincenzo. Plus, it just means more minutes for Nas. It's like, bro, they're really good.
Yeah.
Them and OKC, I would be disappointed if it wasn't those two.
And in the East?
The East, it should be New York and Boston. We should have a classic. We are due, and we are those. It should be a Boston, New York conference finals. Floor seats are $50,000 and up. What are we doing?
We're watching it at home.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Be
there, so I know we're doing.
Yeah, Gators dockside for it.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Relax. I'll be at I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, that is what we should be geared towards. That would be if we get OKC and Mini, two small market, just in the middle, goddamn nowhere city, just.
Two small markets that are just for some reason knew how to build an unbelievable team with a bunch of talent.
Sam Presti, Tim Conley. Come on. Yeah. We know we're getting with those two guys. Wherever they go, they're going to build a team. You could throw that guy in Charlotte, and that team would have I
love that Charlotte is the.
Well, the past 3 years they've been that.
You could even throw them in.
Charlotte or DC have been the teams in Detroit.
I do forget sometimes that like the Portland Trailblazers and Utah Jazz are just like in the NBA.
They get. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm done using Charlotte. They've gotten enough. Yeah. And so has DC. Fucking I forgot.
Portland.
I already forgot them. Portland and Utah have skated by these past 2 years from us. We haven't said a word.
Right. They've gotten no conversation about that.
We're heavy on DC. Yeah. And we're always like, what's Charlotte? I guess because LaMelo and like but still, we're always like da 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 da.
Yeah, they're like really obscure because we talk about the Wizards and the Pistons last year, for example. They were bad, but they were so bad we talked about them. The teams that are bad, but they're not as bad, they kind of slip through the cracks.
Portland's been bad.
Yeah.
Portland, Utah slipped through the cracks, so they can go compete. You throw like Clarkson out there with a couple of these guys, and Laurie Marketing out there shooting threes.
The last
they
2
can beat
years,
you.
Utah in the beginning came out kind of hot, and you were like, "What do we have here?" And then they were like, "Well, we're trying to get a better draft pick." And then just, Danny Ainge is like Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
And he figures it out.
All right, let's get these guys some less time here.
Right.
Yeah.
But these other teams are so.
Portland is a tough watch.
Yeah.
It's a tough watch, man.
Would you rather watch Portland or the Brooklyn Nets?
Oh, Portland. At least I'm looking at something that has like youthful talent in terms of like Scoop might become something.
Right.
Maybe this year he breaks out. I don't know. I'm going to watch them.
Yeah. Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons is like a
Shaden Sharp.
Like they got the big time draft pick from UConn, the big man. Like they got some pieces there that I'm going to go watch and see how these young guys develop and be excited. But okay, he's got some game. I'd rather watch them. Brooklyn's like a collection of players right now. It's just that's like the gauntlet of like. They're like the I don't know.
They're somewhere locked up in a bunker watching Cooper Flag highlights.
Yeah, that's what they're going for.
Yeah, they're ready to get it.
They're sitting there saying, "Keep talking that shit, Austin. Give us one more year. Let's see what the fuck we have next year with these draft picks. We're getting somebody." Yeah. That's But yeah, Portland.
All right.
That's a great question. Portland.
Who is? So who are the NBA Finals and who's going to win the title?
The title this year. We'll be back in Boston.
And who are they beating?
I think they beat the Timberwolves in the NBA Finals. It's a crazy thing. Timberwolves almost got there last year. I think Boston plays Minnesota this year.
I'm trying to think of what the storylines would be with those two teams.
It would
playing.
be Ant versus, we saw it on Netflix with Ant and Tatum. Like, get out of here. Talking about you top five. Remember he said all that? That it would be Ant. It would be an alpha match.
But you've historically said that you think Ant and Jaden McDaniels can guard Brown and Tatum better than any other.
It would be a battle.
Collection of wins.
It'd be a battle. And they both have really good role players. They are very well matched. Very well matched.
Yeah.
You have Jaden McDaniels guarding Jaylen Brown. You got Tatum guarding, Ant. Those two going at each other. You got Al Horford out there really guarding whether it's Rudy or Julius or whoever they got. I mean, bro, they match up very well. You got Derek White and Drew, and that's where they get that edge.
And then DiVincenzo and Mike Conley got to be a little scrappy down there.
But DiVincenzo and Mike Conley ain't no scrubs either. You know what I mean? Like they got some bump over there.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Nikhil Alexander. Like they got some guys that go there, slide their feet and hit an open three.
Right.
So like that's some bump.
Yeah. That's a battle.
Yeah.
And hopefully it would be better than this last year's finals. That was
maybe throw a little Rob Dillingham and get a minute or two. And the next thing you know, he's guarding Peyton. You got to be ready to go.
You're going down to like the ninth men. Like they're just looking at the matchups there.
Because Peyton will come in and give you 10 off the bench.
The second that, you see Porzingis try to bring out Rudy Gobert out into the perimeter, they just bring in Naz Reid and he can slide his feet.
Yeah, I got you.
And if you want to go with the Al Horford, Julius Randle, it is a good matchup.
Bro, they match up very well with them. It would be a battle. 7-game series. I think Boston would win just guys like Drew and White. Like these guys are just they're so good at what they do, man. And with especially with them just doing it and Al Horford, like the experience alone, I think it'd overwhelm them. I mean, they got overwhelmed last year by Dallas, you know what I mean? Because those guys had some experience. They were in the conference finals. They just beat Denver. It was like emotional. Like they're playing against Luke and Kyrie, and Kyrie's won chips, been in the finals. Luke has been in the conference final. Like, bro, they just went and got that shit. You know what I mean? Like it was like after a couple games, everybody's like, whoa, what's going on here? I thought this was going to be a series. Dallas just like mollywopped them.
Yeah. Well, we talked about before, Dallas was kind of like a March Madness team that got hot and then they got...
That's what I'm saying. So when you get late, both teams were hot though. They just beat Denver.
Yeah.
You got a little experience can overwhelm. It's just like, bro, they played so comfortable and loose. And Dallas, Minnesota's a little tight. It just happens.
Right. This
year, conference finals, like Minnesota's going to be like pissed off. They're going to come in there with something to prove. It's just different. You know what I mean? Like a mindset is the difference between a team winning or not. It really is. I don't know. But I had Boston repeating, man. I hate that it's not interesting and we don't have a new team. There's not a team in the NBA better than that team. And you can't convince me.
And these rankings show it. I mean, we have 5 guys in the top 42 players in the NBA. You can't convince me. And we're not even complaining about it.
We haven't even talked about I totally forgot about Porzingis, we didn't even mention him. Like Porzingis is a very good player when he's healthy. I don't know if y'all saw last year when he was in the finals playing, he was destroying. He's out there blocking everybody. But the dude was punching everything, just blocking and shooting three. One game he was like 7 for 7.
He wasn't even fully healthy in the way
he's like out there on one leg hobbling around, just catching lobs. I was like, bro.
They're so good that he got hurt earlier in the playoffs and they were like, we'll need you in the finals.
Yeah, like,
we'll just figure it out. Yeah,
and they won. They did. They figured it out. They went all the way to the finals and then they brought him back and then they just beat the piss out of anybody they're going to play. And they're going to do the same thing this year. New York is their greatest threat. Other than that, there's not a team in the end, regardless of conference.
Well, I think if you're New York and you're like, okay, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, OG, and Mikal Bridges. OG and Mikal Bridges were the 2 3-and-D guys everyone wanted 2 years ago. They're on the market. 5 first-round picks for anyone. They got both of them.
They will miss.
I think they're thinking about Boston.
They're going to miss. Their guard play is a little shaky. It's shaky compared to Boston. They're going to get hurt there.
What do you mean? I mean,
you got Brunson. Great.
But Brunson's shown that he could just put a team on his back if he needs to, and the team's less talented.
Not versus Boston.
But now you have the other pieces. If everyone's healthy?
Yeah, I know, but where are their other guards? Who are their other guards? Losing DiVincenzo hurts, man. I'm just telling you, you went OG this. We can go down the list. We just did it with Minnesota. They had guys, right? Outside of Minnesota, the only other team that I really think could really push Boston like that in a 7-game series, and I'm saying this matchup-wise, not to disrespect OKC. I just don't think they would match up as well with Boston. Yeah, but I do think I was thinking about their roster real quick, but no. Their guard play. You got Jalen Brunson and I don't know who the other guard is. Josh Hart's not a guard. He's like a small forward. He's out there running around, rebounding, fucking.
Well, you like what you've seen out of Deuce McBride earlier in the, so far.
But bro, come on, man. I like Deuce McBride. I like him coming
but
off
he's
the bench.
more. You're lining him up with Peyton Pritchard, not Drew Holiday and Derek White.
I think they have their purpose. I think they're good players. But like we're talking about Derek White, Drew Holiday, man. Both averaging 15, 16, getting it done. Finals. 24 to some games, Derek White. Like, we're talking 40. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about Porzingis. We're not talking about Jaylen Brown. We're not talking about Tatum. To take the big dogs. We're talking about these two dudes. These are their next guys. They're insane.
Right. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns and Porzingis just sitting back shooting threes, being 7'5".
They're going to like, bro, Porzingis and Towns are going to take turns, right? You got Brunson, but then you got Tatum and Jaylen, right? So then Brunson's like, who? So you got to get someone from OG. He'll chip in. Mikal Bridges. That's where Mikal has to be a big-time player.
I think listen, when he was on the Suns, he was perfect.
He was great.
In this exact role he's going to be in right now.
Yeah, third best option.
Yeah.
He'll be the third option on this team. He thrived in it before. He's thrived in the 2 spot too. He was the best player for Brooklyn last year. They just weren't. He's just, like you said, can he be a one guy? No. He can, your just team won't be that good.
Right.
But he's a really good player. He averaged a dub last year plus on Brooklyn. My man can score. So, and he even got numbers up in obviously Phoenix. Yeah. I got Boston. Boston's repeat. Long story short.